Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and realizing something is completely different. You see your family, your friends, your neighbors, you recognize everyone, but nobody has a name. You can't say, "Hey, John." You can't call your mother Mom. You can't shout for your friend across the street, because none of those names exist. If you wanted someone's attention, you'd have to point. If you wanted to talk about someone who wasn't there, you'd have to describe them. The tall one, the woman with the long hair, the man who lives near the river. And if two people looked similar, things could get very confusing. It sounds impossible to imagine, but there was a time when humans didn't have the names we use today. So what did humans do before they had names? Who was the first person to ever have one? And how did everyone else understand what it meant? We can never know for certain, but the way human language develops gives us some fascinating clues. To understand them, we have to go back thousands of years. Before cities, before farming, before writing, before civilization as we know it. Imagine a small group of early humans living together, maybe 15 or 20 people. They hunt together, gather food, protect their children, and every night gather around a fire. Everyone knows everyone. They know who their brother is. They know who their mother is. They know which hunter is strongest. They know which child is always getting into trouble. So at first, they may not need names. If someone wants your attention, they can simply look at you, point, or make a sound. For a small group, that works. But imagine the group becomes larger. Now there are several hunters, several mothers, several children. Some people may even look similar. Suddenly, humans need a better way to identify each other. And this may be where the first names began. Imagine 3 hunters. One is extremely tall. One has a scar across his face. Another always carries a long wooden spear. If someone wants to talk about the hunter with the scar, they might simply say, "The one with the scar." These aren't names yet. They're descriptions. But descriptions can slowly become labels. Think about nicknames today. Someone might be called Red because of their hair. Someone might be called Big Guy because they're tall. At first, the nickname describes something. But after people use it for years, the original meaning can become less important. The label simply becomes that person's identity. Something similar could have happened with the earliest human names. Imagine a prehistoric hunter who's incredibly fast. Whenever the group hunts, he reaches the animals first. So people begin using a particular sound to describe him. That sound means something like fast. At first, everyone understands the meaning. But eventually people use the sound even when they're not hunting. Fast, come here. Fast, bring the spear. Fast went toward the river. Then he gets older. He's no longer the fastest person. A younger hunter is faster now, but everyone still calls the older hunter by the same sound. And now the sound doesn't really mean fast. It means him. A description has become an identity, and that may be one possible way human names developed. But names become even more useful when someone isn't physically present. Imagine you're sitting around a fire and want to tell everyone what happened yesterday. You want to talk about someone who went hunting. Without names, you might say, "The hunter with the scar went to the river." But what if another hunter also has a scar? Now you need another description. The hunter with the scar who carries the long spear. What if someone else carries one too? You keep adding details. A unique name solves the problem. Instead of describing someone every time, you use one specific sound. Everyone knows who you're talking about. Suddenly, humans can talk about people who aren't there. Someone who went hunting. Someone who left the group. Someone who died. Someone who lives far away. A name allows a person to exist inside a conversation even when they're physically absent. And that is incredibly powerful. Now imagine an ancient hunter returning to camp. He's exhausted and covered in dirt. Something terrifying happened near the river. He wants to tell everyone about it. Without names, his story might sound like, "A man went to the river. Another man followed. Then an animal appeared. The first man ran. The other man threw a spear." People might understand. But with names, Kara went to the river. Toma followed her. Then the predator appeared. Kara ran. Toma threw his spear. Suddenly, the story has characters. You know who did what. You know who was brave. You know who survived. Names make stories easier to remember. And humans are obsessed with stories. We use them to teach children, warn others, explain mistakes, and pass information to the next generation. So names may have become a tool for memory. Now imagine one of those ancient humans dies. Maybe he was an excellent hunter. Maybe he saved someone's life. Years pass. Children grow up. New people are born. Eventually, fewer people remember him personally. Without a unique name, remembering exactly who he was could become difficult. But with a name, his memory can survive. A parent can tell a child, "That was the person who saved our group." The child grows up and tells their own children, "The person is gone, but the name remains. That's one of the strangest powers of names. A name can survive the person who carries it. So who invented the first human name? A mother? A father? A hunter? A child? Was it based on someone's appearance, personality, skill, or behavior? Or was it completely random? We simply don't know. The first names existed long before writing. Humans communicated for thousands of generations without leaving written records. So the first names were never recorded. We don't know what they sounded like. We don't know what language they belonged to. And we don't know their original meanings. The first name could have been incredibly simple. Maybe one syllable. Maybe just a repeated sound. Maybe something that would sound completely meaningless to us today. Here's another possibility. Imagine a baby is born into a small human group. The baby makes a strange sound. Maybe the mother repeats it. Then another family member copies it. Eventually, everyone uses that sound when referring to the child. Nobody announces, "This is the baby's name." It simply happens. The child grows up. The sound remains. Whenever someone makes that sound, the person knows they're being called, and everyone else understands who it means. That sound equals that person. Names work the same way as many other words. A sound becomes meaningful because people learn what it refers to. And this may be the most important part. Nobody may have actually invented names. We imagine inventions happening suddenly. Someone invents the wheel, someone creates writing, but language probably didn't work that way. There may never have been a person who announced, "Today, we're inventing names." Instead, names probably evolved slowly. One sound becomes useful. People repeat it. Children learn it. Other people copy it. Eventually, the pronunciation and meaning change. After enough generations, nobody remembers where it started. So the first human name may have developed in exactly the same way. No inventor, no ceremony, just humans trying to understand each other. Now think about your own name. It's just a collection of sounds. But if someone suddenly says your name in a crowded room, you notice. Your brain immediately pays attention. Why? Because you've heard that sound connected to yourself thousands of times. Your brain has learned it. When I hear this sound, someone is talking about me. Your name becomes connected to your childhood, your family, your memories, your achievements, your mistakes, your identity. Someone can whisper your name. Someone can shout it. The sound stays the same, but the emotion can completely change. That's why names are more than labels.